So I'm going to tell my first ever finding out who Luke Keuchly was. So I'm watching the Miami game. They're playing Boston College. I don't really particularly know a lot about Boston College currently, but I know they got this white kid, number 44, that's running around and he makes every tackle. But I'm like, okay. I mean, he's a good player. He makes a lot of tackles, but whatever. And then he picks 6 Miami, and every kid on Miami, as he was running to the end zone, not only were they not catching him, they were getting further away from you as you're running. And I'm like, holy shit, this fucking white kid is flying. Fast forward to the offseason, I'm in the weight room working out. And at the time, you would bring in guys for, I guess they still do this, right? Like pre-draft visits. So all of a sudden, this kid walks in with like some of our scouting directors and whatnot. And he walks in. I think you had glasses on. You were like dressed really nice. You'd have had like a button down or a sweater or something. And I'm in the weight room lifting, and Luke comes over and they introduce, hey, this is Luke Keuchly from Boston College. He's here on a visit. So we shake, we talk, mingle for a little bit, and he walks away. So I call one of the scouting guys over after Luke leaves. I'm like, hey, tell me about that kid. Because now all of a sudden this image of him pick 6 in Miami pops back into my head. I'm like, how good is he? Like, I'm like, we're looking at him as the number 1 pick. What were we, 10, 11? What did we pick? 9
that year, yeah.
So I'm like, we got a top 10 pick. I'm like, we're going to take that kid? They're like, Greg, he not only was the best defensive player in the ACC, he was the best player, period, in the entire conference, and arguably the top handful of players in the entire country. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. They're like, I promise you, this kid is I'm like, okay. So we draft Luke at 9. And I remember seeing him at his first practice, and I was like, oh my God, this was what it must have been like a couple years before I got to Chicago with Urlacher.